Well, here it is. All done except for the legs. Those flecks that you see in there, that's part of the artistic design. There we go. Okay, it's time to start getting serious about this river table stuff. This is my outdoor workbench. And as you can see, it's not what you would call a professional setup. And here's the indoor portion of the work area. Got a car in here. If I take the car out, there would be some good room. So maybe we can think about making a portable workbench that can be moved around. I'll think about that. So for the sled portion, the guide rails, I picked up this saw this made on a YouTube video. Picked up this piece of angled aluminum, 1/16 of an inch thick, and it's like that. It's 8 feet long. So I'm going to build the sides, the rails for this thing to slide on, go this way. Okay, I cut the side rails, and so the distance got a little over 2.5, maybe 3 inches in there. And this will ride on there just like that, smooth as the fuzz on a baby's bottom, and be able to get just clears this. This is the thickest piece I have, so just clears all that. But if I mount the side rails on top of the board, I'll have 3.5 inches clearance, which is tons, way more than I need. So I think I'm going to do it like that. And then the widest piece I can have inside there is just under 2 feet wide, 2 feet minus 1.5 inches or so. So that's what I'm going to do. So I got this dye, epoxy colored dye, and this little bottle here, $8, black, and it makes up to 1 gallon. Colors up to 1 gallon of resin. Oh my God, $8 for 1 gallon just for the dye. September 28th. Now, the latest interesting thing is that my router probably only goes down about 1 inch. And notice that this area here, so the router's going to go there. This dimension here is right about at 1 inch. So I don't know how I'm going to route these things. I think maybe I'll sand them and put the epoxy in, and then think about it halfway up, and then sand them down and route them down with some other thing here. Anyway, looking into doing that. Thank you. September 28th. Got some new equipment here. New random orbital sander and a new configuration here. Waiting for the plunge router to come. It should be tomorrow. Okay, we're looking at probably 3 weeks worth of work, what with making the form, the box, cutting the wood, trying to figure out what to do with it and all that sort of stuff. And in here is 3 gallons of epoxy so far. And you can see I've still got, it looks like a ½ an inch to go. I've ordered 1 more gallon, and I'm going to bring it up as far as that 1 more gallon will take me. And you can see it's almost ready to go. And then after that, I will just route it down to the right, just so that the epoxy becomes level with this. Probably I can't imagine it's going to go up more than another ½ of an inch with another 1.5 gallons. And I was very careful in calculating how much I needed, but I was way wrong. So anyway, there we are. That's it. Stay tuned. Coming up, it'll be a beautiful table, like a lagoon with islands in the middle. Islands in the stream. I'm using alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, 91%, to clean up the dust, and immediately the haze goes away, but then it comes back as soon as the alcohol dries. And I can still feel grit on there. I'm going to have to do a better job on that. All right, I'm using P120, and I've scuffed it up. Next step is to wipe it down with alcohol, get the dust off. And I hope I didn't scuff it too much. Hope that goes away. Okie dokie. Okay, mixing up the last 1.5 gallons. There's a good chance that this is going to be way too much. I hope not, because I don't know what I'm going to do with the leftover stuff. This bottle supposedly handles 1 gallon, so it ought to be enough. Nice thing about this epoxy is that you've got plenty of working time. Oh. Yeah. 5 minutes of mixing. Okay, well, there's what happened. Looks pretty good. Just a little bit to take down. I got a little overexcited right here. I think I'm gonna sop that up somehow. Let me see if I can sop it up. Yeah, I'll do a better job when I turn the camera off. And by the way, I have this much left over, which I don't know. And I have this here, which is Instamold. So I'm gonna, those are seashells. I'm gonna make a couple of black seashells and see how that looks. So just about done. The only thing to do now is to wait and pray. And then we'll see 24 to 36 hours from now. So looks like I have maybe 1/4 of an inch to take it down. That's not too hard. One thing I've learned is that plastic tubs like this will hold the epoxy without leaking, which is a damn good thing, because if it started leaking, I'd be in deep kimchi. Okay, it's covered up. There's all the extra stuff. Just let that sit and see what happens. Come back in a couple hours. Well, here we are. Little Ripley. I was concerned yesterday because I put my finger in and it sunk in, but it doesn't do that now. Everything's cool. So now we begin the process of taking it out of the form. Well, got that end off. A little bit of that stuff is sticking to it. That's really strange. So here we go. That stuff didn't lift off as I thought it would. But I have my helper here, and we're going to get that stuff off, clean it up, and then we'll be ready to go. Oh yeah, this is the bottom. This is not going to be the top. Well, this end didn't come off so clean. I think one of the problems is that there's stripped the head off of the screws trying to get them out. And it was stuck in the epoxy pretty good. So here comes the hammer and chisel. All right, it's been decanted and looking okay. This is the tape over here, and it's pretty sticky, and it really doesn't want to come off too easy. I'm thinking maybe I can sand it off. I'll give that a shot. But anyway, these are the rails for the sled, and I should be able to take that down proper. So next step, the ends are going to be cut off about a ½ an inch on each side because the ends are kind of messy.
All right. Is it red on or black on?
Black is going.
Going. Okay, well, you're going then. All right. There's Pop working away on the table.
Okay, here's a couple things I've learned. One is that that's probably too much to take off at one time. Although, for a good portion of the time, it's done really good job. But it gets to be tough. Another thing is, gotta be careful it doesn't slip off the edge, and you'll end up with stuff like that. And stuff like that. Otherwise, it's doing a great job, and it's going to be a rustic table. And I'll probably cut it off here. And table's getting shorter as time goes on. Okie dokie. This is what it looks like after using the 180 grit. This is after the 600 grit, going into the 800 grit right now. And see what it looks like when we're done. Those little scars will disappear sometime soon. This is after pass 2 on the 800 grit. Dry. Haven't cleaned it off yet. I've wiped it with a dry rag like that. And I'm hoping to... this is after the 800 grit pass 2, and I wiped it with a wet cloth. It leaves messiness if I put my hands on it. Well, look at that. Camera picks up interesting stuff. There's the sanding disc, 800 grit, after about 10 minutes. I don't know if it can be cleaned. Be a shame if I have to throw it away. Okay, here we are after 1000 grit. It's smooth as a baby's bottom. So we're going to go right up to the other 1100, 1200, whatever, and then eventually 2000 and see what happens. I was hoping it would come and it would all look like that. We shall see. After 3 passes at 1500 grit, it's still not shiny, although it's very smooth. Very smooth. All right, couple of passes with the 2000 and a water wash, and it's looking good when it's wet. You see the... So I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to wash it down a couple of more times, and then we're going to go with it. We'll put the seal coat and the flood coat on, and that'll be it. Okay, this lesson is things I have learned. Ma's tabletop. It's very, very thick, and yet, okay, I covered this in the last section. It's the bubbles. When you put stuff down on end grain, you get bubbles. Don't do that. Bubbles all over the place.